Get in the game with the college-branded Venmo debit card. Wrap your team with every tap and earn up to 5% cash back with Venmo Stash, a new rewards program from Venmo. No monthly fee, no minimum balance, just school pride and spending power. Get in the game and sign up for the Venmo debit card at venmo.com/collegecard. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. Select schools available. Venmo Stash terms and exclusions apply at venmo.me/stash terms. Max $100 cash back per month.
Are you stuck staring at your W-2? Are tax refund worries holding you back? You probably have FOMO, the fear of messing up. The fix? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. It's time to overcome your fear of messing up and get your taxes done right. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
This is Under the Dome. The following episode includes highlights from an interview with new North Carolina DMV Commissioner Paul Tine. He sat down with the News and Observer's transportation reporter Richard Stradling on his fourth day in office, Friday, May 9, 2025. Things may have changed since the recording. The interview has been edited for clarity.
First question I have to ask, why in the world would you want this job?
Because it's a great job to have. I'm so excited about it. There are very few opportunities for you to affect millions of people's lives in a positive way. And this gives me that opportunity to do that. We are a customer service organization, and to improve that interaction between the people and the government, this is something that everybody has to deal with in one way or another at some point. And so making it so it's a positive experience where government's doing what they're supposed to do and helping guide people through a process that is pleasurable instead of nerve-wracking is something that I think is a lot of fun. I love a challenge. I love the people that I've met so far that are ready to go. This is day 4, but already we've been at the legislature. We've got friends at inside of DOT and HR that are already trying to help us improve the support that we give to our frontline staff. We've got the legislature has been loud and clear saying that they will help and figure out ways to fix this problem with me. I met with the auditor, and the auditor is excited to get some things done over here as well, and has offered to share information, and we of course have accepted. So I mean, there's so many people that are excited about it, and so that's why I enjoy the job. I like fixing problems.
Sure. Did you? How did this come about? Did you apply, or were you recruited?
Yeah, so I had a friend of mine, the former Secretary of Labor, Josh Dobson. He and I served together. I believe someone inside of the administration reached out looking for people that might be interested, and he referred me. And then I applied along with the other applicants and went through the interview process.
Okay. What is it from your background and experience do you think makes you ready for this job or a good fit for this job?
Yeah, so I've been in customer service organizations most of my career of being in business. I've owned insurance agencies, which is a customer service business, and then on the other side, on the public side, I was co-chair of transportation appropriations. So I've been involved with transportation issues. I also wrote the legislation that would guide DOT through a strategic planning process, which was necessary at the time for us to really change how we did things over there. I helped write the legislation that would combine and create all of the different IT, create the Department of IT, so that we could streamline that. So delivering good government has been a passion of mine for a while, and when I was in office. And so you combine those. I also decided to go back to school during COVID and went back and got my MBA, and really wanted to know best practices that are available for with large organizations, and I wanted to know our workforce better, because my workforce at my agency wasn't the millennials and Zs that are coming into the workforce, and I wanted to understand their mindset and what motivates them better. So you add all those together, I think that I have the right tools to be able to transform this organization into a top level customer service organization.
What did you learn about?
If outside, when they're not your generation, they start to become a stereotype. And what I learned is there's just as many good, hardworking people in there. They just look at priorities a little bit different sometimes than perhaps we do. They have different expectations of support, and different ways that you might look to empower them and engage them. So, what I really learned is there's just as many hard work. And I mean, some of the kids that I say kids, but some of the guys that are and ladies that were in their 20s that I was working with going through class were like some of the most impressive people that I've ever, worked with. So
Your predecessor explained or tried to make the case that the long lines, wait times, lack of appointments was largely a factor of not having enough staff. Do you agree?
it's certainly a piece of it. But my job is to maximize what I have today. And I think there's plenty of work there to do that, to build the credibility that would allow them to entrust us with that growth. Again, they've been very positive in response to our requests for people and for resources. So I think we're going to see some movement there. I can't speak for the legislature. There's 170 of them, and they're going to make the decisions that they want to make. But I think there's certainly an appetite to grow as long as we can show them the numbers and that we're doing things efficiently inside the organization. I think we're going to have partners that will help us create the right number of people to move the individuals through our office.
Right. Tell me more about that, because when I was looking at the bills and listening to the conversations at the General Assembly just by changing the rules and things like that, but I didn't hear anybody talking about staffing, or they talk about culture, or they talk about management.
We can talk about our problems and our issues all day long. Like there's a long laundry list of them. And is our culture where it needs to be? Absolutely not. And we're going to build a new culture that is based on our vision of success, because we can be successful as we go forward. And to support that culture, I will tell you, and I'll sort of go into my soapbox on this, is that our people that talk to our customers are the most important people in this organization, because our customers do not care about me. They do not care about all the support that our frontline gets in the back room. They care about those frontline folks that talk to them. And it's our examiners in the offices, it's the people on the phone, and then it's also, our website and, the process we guide them through there. So my job is going to be largely to empower them, but also create a culture that supports them and knows that that's the way we're going to move forward. So problems that we have, we got a bunch of them, but we're going to work on the culture. We're going to work on the resources that we need. We're going to work on that throughput that we talked about at the legislature. And at the auditor's office, and at the governor's office, and at the secretary, everybody wants to know that we're moving in the right direction. As far as the number of people, that's very much a budget discussion. And so that discussion is definitely happening at the legislature. I've been in several, I spent the whole day there on Wednesday. And they understand that need. There is lots of support to fill that need. And quite frankly, the request is not, of 85 is not anywhere near where we need to be once we're at maximum throughput per station and per office. But we have to show them that we can use those responsibly instead of just continually throwing resources and people at the problem. So that's a first step. I think we've had a positive response from them, and we're going to be communicating a lot with all of our outside stakeholders to let them see our progress as we move forward.
The other thing I wanted to ask you, you used the term yourself, but I've heard it last week 3 times from lawmakers that DMV is broken. Would you agree with that?
We're certainly not performing at the way that anybody's expectations, including mine. Yeah. I think there are a lot of things that work well, and mainly there are people, but they need to be empowered to do the job that they are charged to do. Are we broken? We have a mandate from everybody, starting with the people that come into our offices, to give them make this a positive experience instead of a wait outside. If you want to call it broken, a state of emergency, whatever, there is a state of urgency in this organization right now to make changes very quickly to solve those problems.
What does that look like?
Yeah, so near term, we get our lines down, we get that working the way that it's supposed to. Long term, we fulfilled the strategic plan that we're laying the foundation to create now, which will put the processes, people, and systems in place to empower our frontline staff to deliver high level of customer service. Right. So that's the work. That's the end goal. In a practical way and sort of a anecdotal way, the governor doesn't get calls. The legislature doesn't get calls, except for those, rare moments where things just don't work, because some sort of an anomaly as opposed to a systemic issue. That's when the job will be done. When people go, yeah, I went to DMV today and took care of it at lunch, or I took care of it in 5 minutes online, or I actually when it's done is when we proactively reach out to them and say, hey, you're up for your renewal. These are the things that you need to come in. These are what they look like, and we start guiding them through a process. So that's when I love change and making things better. It's not fun for me to maintain a good organization. So that's when I'll feel like my job is done, is when I'm ready to hand that off, because all the processes and people and systems are in place. Everybody knows that this is sort of an emergency state for their organization, that we need to make changes very quickly. The biggest resources, the people on the ground that actually deliver our customer service, they know that we need to do better, and they're asking for the resources that they need in order to accomplish that. And so in empowering them, again, the governor is working with me. The legislature is already working with me. The co-chairs of transportation. I met with the senior chairs of the budget process. The staff over there. The auditor's office has offered information before we actually have a report, so we're working together there as well. Everybody inside of DOT, the secretary, everybody is, what do you need? The Office of Budget has also, been very helpful as well on that. The part about having been in the legislature is it does help to know the people in the building and how things work. So, it's a process, and it's understanding it and knowing how to be effective in it is very helpful. And I had a very poor district, 3.5 counties, not a lot of economic development opportunities, not a lot of jobs, some real struggles with our education system. I didn't have time to play politics. I was there to create better ways for government to support the people that lived in my district and in the state overall. And so when I moved from being a Democrat to being unaffiliated and worked with the Republicans, it was about getting as much done as I could do. I think that I did it in a way where I didn't make terribly too many people angry. Long term, I think there was. Short term, there was, because I didn't, it wasn't about dinging one side or the other. It was about working with the folks that wanted to work with me. And so, and similarly now, the governor wants to work with me and the secretary. So to me, it's not about the politics of it. It's about getting the work done. And I think that reputation has hopefully been established, that people know that that's what I'm all about. I'm just so excited about this job. The opportunity is for improvement is just immense. And again, you just don't have these types of opportunities very often to make systemic change like this to something that affects this many people. And so the people have been wonderful on the ground that do the job. I can't wait to meet a bunch more of them. Everybody's willing to help. We have a mandate, which also helps things. It's it's easier to make change when everybody knows that we've got a real problem. So the timing is right. All of the people have been very helpful. So it's just very exciting. We're going to see change very quickly over the next, starting in the next few weeks.
For more from our politics team, subscribe to the News and Observer at newsobserver.com/subscribe. Sign up for our political newsletter, also called Under the Dome, at newsobserver.com/newsletters. Thanks for listening.